What's the difference between good acting and bad acting, and how do you make sure your acting is always good? And not only good, but unforgettable. This step-by-step process will lead to unforgettable acting every single time. Hi, my name is Adam Louder. This is Anytown Actors Lab. I've been a professional actor for over 13 years. I've acted in over 75 projects professionally. I teach actors all over the world, and in less than 10 minutes, I'm going to share with you everything that actually works for me as an actor to help you stand out in auditions or on set or in rehearsals. Let's start by asking ourselves, what makes for good acting? Good acting is believable. It's convincing. It's truthful. Sanford Meisner said, acting is living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. How do we act truthfully? Sanford Meisner also said, the foundation of acting is the reality of doing. This means that people are always in the midst of doing things in life, and in acting, it's no different. If we are to bring a scene to life, we need to know what the character is doing. So that's step number one. Identify what the character is doing. To ensure that something the character is doing is doable, it has to have a pass-fail outcome. The next question you need to ask yourself is why? Why is the character doing what they're doing? This is done through script analysis, which I teach all of my students. Script analysis is a thorough investigation of the given circumstances of a script. It's the facts. You're a detective or you're reading the newspaper. You're just getting the information, the evidence, the clues as to why the character is doing what they're doing. The third question you need to answer for yourself is, what would this be like for me? But it's not your life. And if you've never done what the character is doing, you need to ask yourself a specific question, which is, what would this be particularly like for me? Meisner called this a particularization. Stanislavski called it the as-if, using your own experience or imagination to emotionally clarify what you are doing in a scene. Basically, making sure you relate yourself to the action or the objective. Now I'm going to take you through a monologue or a speech from a play, and I'm going to show you the difference. Don't forget to like this video and share with an actor friend to help them with their acting as well, and subscribe for more acting tips like this one. So I'm going to be working from a play called Chinese Coffee. I've never done this play or worked on this particular speech. This play is centered around a conflict between two characters, Harry and Jake. The speech that I'll be reading is from a character, Harry. Harry comes to Jake's apartment because he wants to know if he's read his manuscript yet. Harry is a 46-year-old, destitute, starving artist in New York City, and his one chance at success, finally, is to publish this book. He thinks it's an amazing story. The conflict is he's using some of Jake's private stories that he shared with Harry in the book itself, which Jake absolutely does not approve of. Harry and Jake have known each other for a while, and Harry really respects Jake's opinion and wants his approval so he can publish this book and ultimately get success from it. The other issue is you're starting to see as the play unfolds that maybe Jake does think the book could be good, and maybe he's just a little jealous at the potential success. Harry starts to recognize this, and in this moment gives him a challenge. This is the speech. Harry says, "Well, I'll tell you what, you just proved that. You proved that I wrote this book with malicious profit in my heart. You prove it with a credible argument, something of substance, something I can swallow, not just wind. And I will destroy the book right now. I'll burn it and roll right around in the ashes. But you do your part. Prove it. And you don't have to rush. I'm not going anywhere. I did not write this book to make money. I certainly didn't write it to make money from other people's pain. But I will tell you this. If it's got anything, if anyone wants it, if it can do anything to get me out from where I am, then I will push it. I tell you I will shove it. I will do absolutely anything to move it and to move myself out and ahead because I cannot. I simply cannot live this way a day longer, a moment longer than I absolutely have to. Cannot, Jake, and no one can do or say anything to persuade me that I should. Because I will tell you this, I am not crazy yet, but I will go absolutely nuts. I will not make it through if I have to live this way very much longer." So you can see as I read that, it's just cold text. This is not my life. I need to look at this and say, what am I doing, why, and what would it be like for me? So what is Harry doing here, and how can we make sure that it's doable? Well, it has to have a pass-fail outcome. So what is Harry doing? There's a lot of words here. There's a lot of meaning. There's a lot of relationship, but let's simplify it. You could say Harry is giving Jake a chance to prove that he is lying about the intent behind publishing this book. So Harry's giving him a chance. That's something you can actually do. If he doesn't give him a chance, Jake can't respond. If he does give him a chance, Jake can respond. Now, why is he giving him a chance? Well, if you analyze the text, you can see that Harry truly does believe in his own story. And he doesn't feel in his heart that he has tried to profit off of other people's pain, namely Jake's. He thinks that the book is really great, and he's starting to see that Jake might just be jealous. I've never been in this situation, so I have to say, what would this be like for me? I'm going to think out loud as I go through this. Now I can imagine maybe I was trying to get something done and I had good intentions, but someone thought that I didn't. Someone thought I was trying to do something different or shady or selfish or malicious even. Could I imagine that someone might think that about me? Of course I could. And as I start to think about what it could be, I start to think of something specific. Now, this is where it can either be something you've gone through, something you've experienced, or it can be something that you imagine. Either way, it has to have a consuming reality in the choice that you make. And the more specific it is, usually, the more apt you are to believe it, because life is very specific. So I'm thinking of a specific situation. I'm thinking of something this person might say about me that I think is very wrong. And as I'm thinking about this thing, I'm starting to be personally moved by it. And I'm starting to develop a personal point of view about it. And you can start to see that in my behavior, I think. I'm starting to think of what they're saying about me. And I'm attaching myself to the fact that I want to give them a chance to prove it in front of someone else. And if they can find some evidence, right, then maybe I'm wrong. And I'll do exactly what they want me to do. And now that I'm starting to feel it, right, I'm starting to feel connected to this, giving someone a chance to prove that I'm wrong and that I'm lying about this, now I can use these words to really give this particular person a chance. Well, I'll tell you what, you just proved that. You prove that I wrote this book with malicious profit in my heart. You prove it with a credible argument, something of substance, something I can swallow, not just wind. And I will destroy this book right now. I'll burn it and I'll roll right around in the ashes. But you do your part. Prove it. I did not write this book to make money. I certainly didn't write it to make money from other people's pain. But I will tell you this, if it's got anything, if anyone wants it, if it can do anything to get me out from where I am, then I will push it. I tell you, I will shove it. I will do absolutely anything to move it and to move myself out and ahead, because I simply cannot live this way a day longer, a moment longer. Then I absolutely have to. Cannot, Jake. And no one can do or say anything to persuade me that I should. Because I will tell you this, I'm not crazy yet, but I will go absolutely nuts. I will not make it through if I have to live this way very much longer. Not sure if you heard my cat meow there at the end. Is this a finished piece? No. Is this ready for me to audition with? Is this ready for me to put on tape? No. But the difference between the first time I read it and the second time I read it, you can see I focus more on where the words are coming from and not so much on just the words themselves. Again, acting is not saying lines. Acting is living truthfully under the imaginary circumstances. To live truthfully, I have to do something with reality. To do something with reality, I have to know what it is I do, ask myself, why is the character doing that? And then say, what would that be like for me? You can do this with any piece of acting. If you're working on a speech right now or a scene, you can do this right now. What is the character doing? Make sure it's pass, fail. Why are they doing it? Make sure you attach yourself to the stakes for the character, the conflict, the meaning of what they're doing, so that you can accurately ask yourself, what is that like for me? And make sure you serve it in the way that the writer intended. If you want to take your acting to the next level and you want to get serious about training, email actorslab@anytownpictures.com if you want to work with me one-on-one. I work with actors all over the world and I train via Zoom, where we meet every single week. If you want to do a free consultation, send an email. We can set that up as early as you want. If you don't want to work with me, but you want something that's a little bit more tangible, something you can actually work on without an acting partner, click the link in the description. Go to Acting Essentials, the mini course. It's how to act truthfully in less than an hour, basically. There are 9 acting principles in 7 videos. You can study them on your own. Every video ends with an actionable step you can actually do without an acting partner. It's everything that I use in my acting career now. It's everything that's actually effective. I hope this video helped, and subscribe for more acting tips like this one.